2.5 minutes. So I really appreciate that very much, sir.
I got to get your clock there. You've extended the day. I don't know how you did it.
It's called football time, sir.
Senator Schatz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Vice Chair. Thank you, Mr. Lew, for being here. Thank you to your family. What does Israel mean to you?
Senator, I could answer that question as a former public official, that it's our most important ally in a critically important region of the world. I could answer it as somebody who grew up believing that the safety and security of the state of Israel was nothing less than the safety and security of Jews all over the world. So it's not a simple answer of what Israel means to me. I have not always agreed with the policies of the government of Israel, and some people have questioned my relationship with Prime Minister Netanyahu. We have disagreed on many issues. We've known each other for over 3 decades, but it's been with the kind of respect and confidence that each has the interest of the security of the state of Israel always deep inside them.
It is, I think, worth noting that the most ferocious disagreements regarding Israel happen at family dinners among Jews. And so even now, the dialogue in Israel is a little more cacophonous even than the dialogue in the United States, just worth noting. Can you talk a little bit about the need for a full-fledged Senate-confirmed ambassador on the ground? And I know we sort of gloss over it and say it's important, the Chargé is doing a good job, but we need a person there. But tell me how, as a practical matter, it makes a difference to have a Senate-confirmed ambassador on the ground.
Senator, it's interesting because a short period of time has kind of changed how I would answer that question. 2 weeks ago, I would have said, with the Middle East not on the front burner, but it remaining a central core issue of importance, having a confirmed ambassador who clearly is a representative of the president, with the president's ear, with a history of public service that's well understood, was critically important because it wasn't getting the attention of the president and the secretary of state the way it had in previous times when peace talks were the central focus. Today, the president is in Israel. The secretary of state has been in the region for a week. Clearly, there's an enormous amount of attention at the very highest level of our government. But God willing, there will be a moment not too far from now when the war is not the central issue and the future is. Once the future is the issue again, having a confirmed ambassador is crucially important. And I say that with the greatest respect for our Foreign Service officers. I was Deputy Secretary of State. I don't know our current chargé personally. We've met over Zoom and phone just in these past weeks. But I've developed the highest regard for her and have only heard very strong things. It's not a criticism of the people who step in. It's actually to their credit. They have the capacity to step in and step up, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't have a confirmed ambassador.
2 more questions, specifically about the West Bank. Just your thoughts on how we prevent this conflict from metastasizing. And obviously, there are geopolitical implications and a regional war that we're worried about, but it seems to me that one of our primary objectives ought to be to prevent conflict in the West Bank, and then we've got 2 fronts in this war, in this conflict. I'd like your thoughts on that.
So I think preventing this from becoming a multi-front war is hugely important for Israel, for the region, for the world. I think the decision that the president made to dispatch the aircraft carrier fleet, Gerald Ford, and now to have a second aircraft carrier group on the way, is a powerful, powerful message to anyone who thinks that this should be a moment of opportunity to take advantage of. I dearly hope that we don't have to use those resources. You deploy those resources in order not to have to use them. But they demonstrate the capacity should you need to.
One comment and then one question. It seems to me that as some of our colleagues have tried to sort of poke holes in your resume and justify a no vote, that your primary transgression is that you worked for Democrats in the past. I mean, that's what this is. And I think it's important. I think it's fair, actually, that if someone disagrees so vehemently about the JCPOA, fair enough. But to challenge your character, to say that you lied when you didn't, to characterize a partisan report as a bipartisan report when it wasn't, is unfair to you. It's unfair to all public servants who put themselves at that table. Final question, I want to take it for the record just to stay on time. I think Senator Scott's question about the kind of fog of war and the new information warfare and the complications of social media and deep fakes and just a toxic stew, especially on the internet. There's lots of lying and warfare in any case, but it can be accelerated and it's just worse than ever. And I would just like your thoughts, for the record, later, on what you think the ambassador can do to be a reliable, consistent source of information in this information age, which probably means you're looking at 3 to 4 hour increments of posting reliable information. People know I'm on Twitter. I shut down the app because I can't find anything that I can rely upon. And I think that's not a small thing if people don't know where to go for good information.
Ironically, Senator, I've never used social media, and
Good.
I've been told that if I am confirmed, I will have to learn how.
Well, my recommendation is have someone do it for you. Thank you.
Senator Haggerty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.